What's up guys, welcome to 2024 and I've got some new things. So in today's video we've got this Jeep Grand Cherokee right here, and it's a 2.7 diesel. It runs, it drives, but it runs crap, it smokes a lot. So I'm going to try and investigate and do some diagnostics on this and see what's going on with this Jeep, because it's pretty nice. It's not bad, but it's old. But let's see if we can get this guy running good as we wanted to. I've got lots of stuff I want to do to it, so stay tuned. Let's get going. Okay guys, so let me show you the first startup. It's a cold start, and then I'll show the smoky situation that we've got ourselves in. So it runs, it shows 0 oil pressure, and yeah, it's hunting for RPMs. So yeah, that is the smoky situation. It looks like it's white smoke. So yeah, it's a very sunny day, so I'm like shutting my eyes closed for this one. But anyways guys, this is the engine. This is what it sounds like. It sounds like it's missing, and it's very wet in here. But otherwise, just dirty, oil everywhere here. So I think let me clean up and then drain the oil and then take it from there. Okay, so I'll quickly clean this engine. It's not clean as yet, but first I want to take off the oil pressure sensor and just do manual oil test and see if we actually have pressure and that the sensor is maybe faulty. So let's do that quickly. Okay, 2 things that I found so far. This is not even going deep in, actually 3 things. First off, air filter is like, it's dirty. Second off, I removed the oil sensor plug, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like all gunked in oil. So that doesn't help. Third thing is the turbo. So I've got some, I don't know if I can show you guys this. Let me try and get it in there. It's got an X and Y, or X and Z play, but it doesn't have too much forward and backwards play. I don't really feel that, but there's definitely play on this turbo. So I think turbo rebuild is definitely in order. Next up, I wanna try and get that sensor out right there. So I need to find a deep socket something, I don't know what size, and then take it out, and then I can put in my manual pressure sensor. Okay guys, I've managed to take out the sensor, and I do believe maybe it's faulty because this plastic part is loose on this sensor itself. So I've done most of it now. So this is the pressure gauge, and basically you get like a set full of all the fittings and use whatever you want fits, and then you put that in and just connect onto that. I'm going to put back all the pipes now. I did put that in first because it is quite hard to get there once the pipes are in. I cleaned up that turbo intake a little bit. So we have our 4 bar that we were looking for. That is at least some good news. Still in this blazing sun today. Anyways, so next up, my hands are like dirty. I want to drain this old oil out and do a new type of engine flush that I found online. So let's see if it actually works, where you actually replace all the oil with an engine flush. It's very specific to what you must buy, but let's try it. And if we screw up the motor, then it's like that. Anyway, so you guys heard that the engine is misfiring quite badly. It sounds like at least one misfire. So I will have to do a leak off test on the injectors and see if they're all okay. And if they're not, I'll have to send them in to get repaired. Or it could even be as bad as a piston that is broken, or a sleeve or something. That would mean taking the head off. I also suspect maybe we'll have to do a head gasket. Let's start at the start and just do the oil change and just see if that changes anything in this situation. So let's do that. Okay guys, so while the old oil is draining, I want to show you what I'm gonna use as an engine flush. I have not tried this before. I've got no idea. I'm not sponsored by them, but it's Greyhound engine flush. It says here that you can use it 3 times over and over, and you can actually basically fill this up to replace your oil and then flush it for 10 to 15 minutes on an idle, and that's it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to put this in and we're going to flush the whole system, also putting in a new oil filter. So I've got a few, so we are good. Okay, so now we have to start it and let it leave running for 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to do exactly that. Well, we are about 10 minutes in and the water in oil, no, in diesel lights came on, and then a lot of misfiring and a lot of knocking noises, but still rests very okay. I don't want to rev it too high with this engine flush. The smoke seems to be getting a little bit less, but not substantially, a lot less. Maybe I'm just used to it by now, but yeah, let me show you guys the knocking noises I'm hearing. Okay guys, so it's been 15 minutes and this thing has been running, and it's sounded kind of better at the end and also less smoke. Not stopped immediately, but it was kind of less, you know. So let's drain this stuff and see what's in there. This is what the new filter looks like after that flush, and this is still very dirty. So I'm gonna put in a new filter, put in some cheap oil, don't get the thing as cheap oil anymore, and then we'll do it again. Okay guys, so we got rained out and it's been raining for a few days, so I'm only back now again on this Jeep. And what I've done is I did put in new oil and a new oil filter again after the flush. So now I'm ready to do a diesel injector leak off test to see if we have a faulty injector or not. So I already got it hooked up, and I will, let's see what it does after 4 days of just standing. 4 or 5 days, I'm not even sure. So let's see if it does start immediately now. I think there's going to be air in the system, and let's see if we've got a faulty injector that might be causing the smoke. Okay, so I'm just going to angle it like this, and here's my 5 collector bottles. That's just going to do the leak off on the injectors itself. So let's start it up. Okay guys, so I can see from this that number 1 and number 4 is actually overflowing a little bit. Number 2 and number 5 is okay, and number 3 is also, I think it's still in the range. So these 2 are definitely overflowing, and they might need to be sent in to get repaired or refurbished. So for now I will run just a little bit of a diesel injector cleaner right through the system. What it means is you have to take off the hose before the fuel filter, and then run the whole contents of the bottle through the injectors to clean them. So we'll do that, and then we'll see if we need to send in the injectors for a repair. But the white smoke is still, it's quite still a lot, and I don't think those injectors could make that kind of smoke. Okay guys, so now that we actually have done our leak off test, I am going to put this stuff in. This is to clean the injectors. It's liquid moly diesel purge. You run it straight from the cap, and this has been standing in the dust, so it's very dirty. So I'm just going to hook it up to this line, and then we'll run the engine until it dies. That means that this will be empty, and then we see if the smoke stops. But a side note, this is not the only issue on this Jeep. It does drive, but it's got no throttle response in any of its gears. So I suspect the conductor plate on the gearbox itself has also gone. I'm waiting on parts on that, already ordered it. It should be here quite soon actually. So that will be in the next video. We will tackle this gearbox and see if we can get it running, even if it smokes a little bit. Because I think the injectors really need to go for some recon as well. But let's see if this actually works and help. I'm gonna mark on my diesel leak off test where the original lines are, and then we do the test again and we see if it does get better. Then we know if this is a myth or actually it works. Okay, so it's empty now. I'm going to just take it off, put a few part back on, and then start it again, and then we'll see the results, and then we'll do the leak off test on it. Actually, it didn't last as long as I thought it would. Actually ran quite quickly through all the diesel, but I guess it's just flowing back into the tank, and that's actually what happens. Okay guys, so as you guys can see here, that there's no difference at all after the treatment. Even it just still stays the same, and that could be that it's just a myth that this stuff actually works. But if it does work for you before, let me know in the comments. Maybe I did something wrong. Anyways guys, I'm happy about our oil pressure. It stays on, it's actually on 5 bar, which is mint. And then I'll have to pull out these injectors, and by looking at this I can see that clearly we have an issue on number 1 and number 4. Number 2, number 5 looks okay, number 3 is questionable, but 1 and 4 definitely. Now to pull out these injectors, number 4 and number 5, is not easy, and we'll have to do some modification to this Jeep to actually be able to pull them out. Next episode we'll be doing the gearbox, pulling these injectors out, sending them in for repair, and then hopefully we can get this Jeep running and we can actually maybe just be able to drive it somewhere without it smoking. If you did like what you see, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. Thank you all for watching, I do appreciate it. Keep safe. Cheers!